Continuing to vlog and document my Lithuanian language experience and just general life in Lithuania, the past few weeks have been pretty intense, but last weekend was particularly full. My wife and I, bringing along our infant, headed back to Anykščiai for a big-ish family event. It was a birthday dinner with about 30 or so family members in attendance. I don't think we've traveled anywhere with our child since returning from Canada, and that left us so exhausted. And, well, our recent weekend in Anykščiai was exhausting too, even if it covered just 3 days. I used to be an expert packer and world traveler, and with the chaos of an infant, I even forgot to bring a sweater and my phone charger on this little weekend trip. Fairly necessary items for traveling anywhere, I would say. Anyways, we eventually got into town, and it was so nice to finally see these streetlights lit up. Despite having been in Anykščiai so many times, I've never been out late enough to see these lights. They're nice, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this type of lighting in other parts of the country. And then once we arrived at our apartment hotel and settled down a little bit, there was still enough time for us to check out the Christmas tree in the town center. We missed the actual lighting ceremony by like an hour and a half, and people were even walking home as we were heading towards the tree, but still it was quite a nice sight. I thought they did a good job with the tree, as well as the little park in the middle of town. What do you think? And then the following day was the day of the big event, and well, I was the only foreigner there. The only one in attendance who didn't speak Lithuanian fluently. So look, I am by nature an introvert. I don't like parties and big gatherings, although I do like talking to people that I already know in small groups, so at least that helps. But when you consider the fact that I couldn't converse with almost anyone at this event, it was pretty isolating. And it's not like I'm not actively learning the language. I am. But I'm not great at hearing what people are saying in loud and crowded rooms, and combine this with the normal speed of a fluent Lithuanian speaker, and, well, it was really hard to even attempt speaking Lithuanian to anyone. My wife's cousin asked if we should all sit together at a table, and I think she must have said something that included "su mumis," and even that was already beyond my own vocabulary and what I knew. I think if I had been able to hear like the word kartu somewhere, it would have been an easier interaction. As a foreign observer and guest, it was fun to watch the little party games, and I more or less followed along with what was happening, but it still sucked that I couldn't really interact, engage, and truly share life with my wife's family, who are all really lovely, by the way. A handful of them were nice enough to approach me and converse in English, including the birthday man himself. My wife was even surprised with his English abilities, since he's at that age where Lithuanians are less likely to be fluent in the language. But anyways, it was yet another reminder and encouragement to continue learning and sharpening my Lithuanian language skills. But that's a good transition to giving an update on my Lithuanian language lessons. The last time I did this, I had my teacher Agne give the update, and in that video she said I was doing well and that I could maybe become fluent in 3 to 6 months. On one hand, that's a really nice thing to say, but I think that puts a lot of pressure and expectation on me, and I would rather give myself a little more time and then surpass expectations rather than fall short of them. But that's just me. I've had 3 or 4 lessons now, and I'm continuing to enjoy the online group setting. Agne was nice enough to again record another update video for me, so here's what she had to say.
I really like your passion for the language. I really like how you share your chit-chat and little experience you gain while living in Lithuania to share with your colleagues and your friends on Litulingu in your group so they can learn from you. So you are very quick to get a new words. And as I hear, you love my games, which actually not games, it's actually learning exercises. But that's what I like, to engage the students, and to, if it's easy for you to learn, fantastic. So good effort. You're a very promising student. Can't wait to speak with you fluently in 3 months, and it will be amazing. And just go and chat in Lithuanian. And even you make mistakes when you ordering coffee, when you're buying shopping, it doesn't matter. Lithuanians, we love and appreciate anybody who wants to learn Lithuanian language. So just make mistakes. By just going for it, you will practice your Lithuanian and you will get it better.
Agne is awesome, and I would highly recommend her as a teacher. She's super encouraging, and I think she does a great job in facilitating our group class. Throughout these few lessons, I've learned that I really enjoy games. Okay, she doesn't call them games, but I guess they could be considered interactive learning and review tools. For me and probably a lot of other people, it's a challenge to just sit down and read and review and study. Maybe it's like an attention deficit thing. I don't know. I can say that my mind easily drifts away to other things and I have to continuously refocus myself. But interactive games are so different because there's a timer involved and you can get pretty quick feedback on what you know and don't know with right answers and wrong answers. Now, on the topic of speaking and making mistakes, yeah, I suppose my confidence in speaking is building week by week. But I think the big and obvious challenge is comprehension. Understanding native, fluent speakers who talk at their normal speed. My brain just isn't fast enough and my ears don't feel sharp enough to absorb every word and understand it in a reasonable amount of time. I do think native English speakers are bad for this, and it's only in traveling and encountering many people speaking English as a second or third language for many years that you realize a normal way of speaking really needs adjustment. Speech should be a little slower, slang and phrases should be avoided if someone isn't too advanced, and simple words should be chosen instead of more complicated ones. And I think it would help me if a lot of these same concepts and principles were also used by Lithuanians when speaking to people learning the language. I mean, maybe in some cases they are doing these things and it's still too fast or too complex, because yeah, that's also a real possibility. But if we go back to that weekend in Anykščiai, I received a ton of encouragement from the most unexpected place, my somewhat tipsy father-in-law. Having already had a drink or two, every time I responded to him in Lithuanian, he reacted so happily and was very impressed every time. He's definitely more reserved without some alcohol in his system. But I chose to take his reaction to my Lithuanian speaking as genuine and unfiltered. It definitely seemed like it. But yeah, that's another little life update. A blend of my recent travel experience, a family event, and my language lessons. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for regularly tuning in, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoy the videos on this channel and want to support my work, you can either buy me a coffee with a one-time donation, or join my Patreon with a monthly membership to get access to videos along with other perks. There's a link down in the description for you to check out. If neither works for you, just liking and commenting would be lovely. Thanks.